Extreme enduro as we know it was forged in the Iron Giant. For every generation of rider, this is the place our sport calls home. Those that race here don't do it for money, they do it for pride.
It is this dirt that has served as a setting for countless moments of history. We welcome you to the 25th running of the Erzbergrodeo Red Bull Hare Scramble.
One chapter remains unwritten, and one rider aims to write it.
This is an absolute record for Erzbergrodeo. Laia Sanz continues to charge.
In the world of off-road motorsport, Laia Sanz is a legend. Since 2011, she's finished every single Dakar rally, the toughest rally raid on the planet. And she's the only woman ever to finish the race inside the top 10. She's also a 13-time Women's Trials World Champion with 5 Enduro World Cup titles.
Laia is awesome. She goes out and just proves herself against all the men in what's, kind of known as a man sport.
She's a great rider, she's amazing.
Obviously she's been Trials World Champion, she knows how to ride a bike, she's proven that so many times at all these different disciplines of off-road, so you see her ride and she just it looks easy to her.
In 2019, Laia has an ambitious new goal. She aims to become the first female rider to finish the toughest race in extreme enduro, the Red Bull Hare Scramble. To earn the coveted title of finisher, she'll have to complete the infamous 35-kilometre course in less than 4 hours.
I would love to finish this race because some years only like 10 riders can finish. There is nothing impossible. With time, I think you can manage to do everything, but the problem is that you are fighting against the chrono. It's a big difference between Dakar and extreme enduro. Like to run a marathon or 100 meters full gas, so it's really different. It's a completely different sport. Here it's really intense. It's only 4 hours, but completely in the limit.
Whilst Erzberg is new ground for Laia, one rider on first-name terms with the Iron Giant is German privateer Kevin Gallas. Returning in 2019 for his 5th Red Bull Hare Scramble, Kevin is a 2-time finisher and knows better than most what it takes to tame the mountain.
I think the Erzbergrodeo Red Bull Hare Scramble is like kind of the spot where you can show everybody that you are able to be one of the best riders in the world. For most people, it's a lifelong dream to just finish the race. There's no prize other than a piece of rock like this. So you get a nice #1 plate on it, but that's it. There's nothing more. But I think the whole world of enduro is watching. This is really a place for opportunities. So if you win here, you don't have to worry about little prize money. Which won't change your life, but you could get an opportunity for the next years to ride for a big brand, a big factory team, or like a big organization which supports you for maybe the rest of your life.
In previous years, Kevin has raced at Erzberg with the backing and sponsorship of a private team. In 2019, though, he's returned without that support, racing instead as a privateer.
I want to see what I can do on my own here, because it's really hard to compete for the win here without full factory support. So I thought, why not give it a shot on my own and see what I can do? I really think it's very, very difficult in 2019 to be a privateer and be able to compete for a win in one of the big races, because the factory teams, they are just on such a high level. They spend so much money on all that, so they have to be spot on, and the pressure is really big. The factory riders, they have all been chosen because they performed well here as a privateer. Johnny Walker, Teddy Blasuziak, Billy Bolt, they all have done well here and then have been chosen by the factory teams to run for their organization.
I'm a bit nervous because I have a lot of experience, but in Dakar now, or in trials, because I've been doing this for many years, or enduro, but this is completely new for me. I think it's important to walk, especially in the Carl's dinner and the most difficult checkpoints. It's important to know some good lines to be fast. I try to go with experienced riders to learn from them. Last year was much worse, no, this?
Yes.
I'm seeing that it's really long because it's not only the typical part in Carl's dinner. We have also in this area a lot of stones and really long. So I think it will be like hell.
Welcome to Styria in the heart of Austria. This is the Erzbergrodeo, and it finishes today with the legendary Red Bull Hare Scramble race.
I feel nervous because here is everything new for me, so I feel like a rookie. You feel butterflies in your stomach, and already now, you know that many people is watching at Red Bull TV, and many people is following you, so yeah, make me feel nervous, but it's a nice feeling at the same time.
You enter the quarry before the start really early. You're sitting around there for about 2 hours. Your stomach starts cramping and you can really feel the tension. There's thousands of people in the quarry and nobody says a word. It's just, you hear nothing except the helicopter flying above you. As soon as a flag drops, it's pure chaos. Everybody is going everywhere and it's 50 people. It's the 50 best riders in the world and it's just really crazy. Every rider that wants to be able to finish the race or win it, they have to be technically very strong. But I think the biggest thing is really experience and using your head, because there's so many riders that can go fast, go over big rocks or whatever. But to manage your race and to have energy when you need it and save energy when you don't need it, that is really the most important thing.
If the Red Bull Hare Scramble is the most famous extreme enduro race on the planet, then one section is hands down the most notorious. Carl's dinner is the great leveller. A seemingly endless stretch of giant boulders, huge gaps and gaping holes, where technique and focus outweigh speed and aggression every time. More often than not, this is where the race is won or lost.
Wow, Carl's dinner is just, I would say, crazy. It's unbelievable how long it is.
I think it's probably one of the most important sections of the race.
I've done now Romaniac, Erzberg, Lagares. I've done all these difficult races, and I think that's the hardest section in any of them.
It's so physically demanding, and for me, I think just holding the clutch from stalling and getting through it and standing up, it really puts a toll on you. If you get off your line, I mean, you're gonna spend a couple minutes trying to drag your bike out of a hole.
It's super hard because it's the second part of the race, so it's you already got an hour under your belt, you know, so you're coming in quite tired already, and you have to push through it, and it's like a good hour of riding, you know, through rocks, you know, size of a motorcycle.
Trick is to stay on the line and obviously stay out the holes and just try and relax a little bit as well.
Ideally, you want to try and stay on the pegs and almost trials ride it through with your feet up. Obviously, the more fatigued you are, the more difficult that is. It's difficult to go fast over. You just got to try and avoid those mistakes and crashing and losing time or breaking your bike, which is easily done.
Carl's dinner is hard enough with a fully functioning bike. But as Kevin arrives at the first boulders, his engine is overheated and failing. He pushes on, but the bike can't cope with the brutal conditions.
My engine is dying. No, I'm okay. Doesn't help. Sadly, I got a heat issue about halfway through the race. My fan stopped working and the bike overheated, and I had like over 165 degrees water temperature for over an hour. And I think I blew a piston ring from the piston,
and the bike's losing compression now, so the engine keeps on shutting off. At this point, I think I was also too slow to reach the finish. I wasn't fast enough or far enough. But yeah, it feels bad because I always try to find my own limit, and when I get let down by the bike, it's a bad feeling. But you know, the last years I always searched some responsibility in some other persons, but this year it's all on me. It's my fault. Mistakes happen, but I will learn from it, and yeah, maybe get a better mechanic as well.
Kevin's race is over, but Laia is still in the jaws of Carl's dinner. Guided by her boyfriend and mechanic, she uses every ounce of experience she has to battle the toughest test in extreme enduro.
This is an absolute record for Erzbergrodeo. For a female to make it in this deep into Carl's dinner, it's a great moment, and hopefully inspiration not just to the female riders, but to the male riders out there. And as we've seen with the world's best, Carl's dinner has brought them down and have to admit forfeit. But for the time being, Laia Sanz continues to charge. Such an awesome sight.
After an hour, she makes it through. But she's lost too much time, and Laia has to accept she won't finish within the 4-hour time limit.
Really tough. I was really good in the beginning. I had a good start. I thought that was really good. In the first part in the forest, I feel really comfortable. I had no mistakes. Like pushing a little bit and really good. I'm happy I did all the Carl's dinner. That was so hard. Especially I'm happy because I learned a lot. I know what I need to do to try to finish this race. Of course, it's 4 hours of suffering a lot, but I can improve, and I'm sure I can do it.
Next time on WESS Diaries, Spanish riders Mario Roman and Sandra Gomez are back on home soil as they face the highs and lows of Hispania hard enduro.